we go. What's going on, family? It is your boy Wallstreet Ray. Super happy and grateful to be on here with all of you guys on this Sunday evening. Like I said before, I'm in a great mood because my Eagles handle business. You know what I mean? But look, it's an educational call. This ain't a sports talk show. So with that being said, we're not going to waste too much time on that. We're just going to go ahead and hop straight into it. But before I do that, I am curious. I want to know where we calling in from today, right? Go into the chat, drop your city. What city are you repping? Where are you from? Where are you calling in today from? We typically have people from all over the world, so I'm curious to see where it is that you're calling in from. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. We got Ohio tapping in. What's going on? Colombo, Sri Lanka. I knew you was going to be on this call. My man don't miss a call no matter what time it is over there. Right? Cairo. Oh, wow. Cairo. That's Egypt, right? That's dope. Raleigh, North Carolina, New York City in the house was good. Hey, I mean, I actually lived in Brooklyn for a little bit. So shout out New York. I got a lot of respect for New York, man. New Jersey, New Mexico. What's up? What's up? We got another person from Sri Lanka. Awesome. Awesome. I see y'all, man. Got a little trading community out there, man. I might have to take a trip. All right. But what's up, y'all? Super excited to see y'all. Bushwick. Oh, yeah. I already know, man. I already know. Say less. Well, with that being said, super excited to be on here with this call with y'all, man. Obviously this is the weekly Outlook call. We do this call every Sunday just to give you guys some perspective on what it is that you should look for this week in the markets, right? And with that being said, what I want everybody to truly understand, I'm not gonna, bang you upside the head with mindset, but I gotta give you guys at least a couple minutes of perspective, just so that way we can go into the markets this week with the most clearest attitude and mindset, make sure our mentality is in the right place. And I just want you guys to get your expectations in alignment with your work ethic, right? A lot of times, we change our goals to match our work ethic, but in reality, we should change our work ethic to match our goals. And what I mean by that is, when you first got started trading, you thought about making six figures, you thought about making millions of dollars and all of that stuff. But now at this point, you just want to be profitable, right? And, a lot of times we change our goals to match our current level of work ethic. And the thing I want you to realize that you'll never grow past your current level of personal development. And I want everybody on this call to really focus, lock in this week, right? All this time is passing us by anyway. So why not give this the most focus, the most, energy that you've ever given something? Because a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, you're going to have either a week of progress or a week or a year or whatever of excuses, right? So with that being said, I want you guys to not shy away from those big goals. So many times, we have goals and we actually dumb them down to try to be a little more realistic. But I'm here to tell you, sometimes you got to be that crazy person with these big goals that are out of this world in order to hit them, right? That's the only way that you actually become successful to the level that you truly desire, is by having these huge goals. And just make sure that your work ethic is following, all right? So this week, whatever you have to do to become a more focused trader, a more disciplined trader, somebody that's, following your plan, following your systems better, whatever that takes, whatever it looks like for you, because I don't live with you. I don't know what's holding you back. But whatever it is, make the decision that you're going to get better one day at a time. And that way, when we get back on this call next Sunday, for everybody that's in the free community, right? If you're in a VIP group, you get me just about every day. But for everybody that's in the free chat, when we do this call again next week, I want you guys to really look at yourself and say, okay, yeah, I got better last week. And once we get addicted to that feeling of beating who we were yesterday, that's where the true growth takes place. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go over a couple setups last week, that we took advantage of. I mean, I'll be honest, last week was amazing, right? Just on the live trading sessions, I mean, we went absolutely crazy. Outside of that, we had a couple signals that did their thing as well. And I'm just very satisfied with the week that we had last week, especially because a couple weeks ago was a little slow. It wasn't feeling like my typical my typical trading week. Maybe it's because I was preparing for the baby shower and stuff that took place last weekend, but this week, me having a full week of focus, or last week, we really did our thing. So shout out to everybody that profited. We had a couple guys get funded accounts. I seen somebody else had like a 13K week. I mean, just a lot of results, a lot of testimonies taking place within the Trade Genius community. And it's very exciting for me to see, very exciting to be able to help you guys along on this process. So let's have another phenomenal week. All right. So with that being said, first things first, I mean, we took gold down here. I mean, what a phenomenal buy. As you guys can see, the market, it really closed like somewhere around here last week, right? And then the market actually gapped up like another 150 pips over the weekend, right? And I'm actually still in this trade. And obviously I was saying, I want like 1,000 pips out of this buy. And I ain't gonna lie, it feels like we may just get there a little quicker than I thought, actually. I wasn't expecting us to already be up about, 350 to 400 pips in profit. So with that being said, this trade is going absolutely phenomenal. I'm curious, is anybody still in gold buys? All right, is anybody still in gold buys? Just type of that bag in the bags, money bag in the chat or something. All right, Caroline is in. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure you guys are still holding, because I know a lot of people, they want to start closing their trades early just because, it's the weekend, or they start getting anxious. They start being afraid to know if the market's going to retrace. And I want you guys to really fall in love with the concept of really being patient. We execute on lower time frames. That's what gives us the ability to, secure our bag right away, secure partials right away. But just on this higher time frame, guys, I'm telling you right now, I feel like without a doubt, we're gonna at least come and clear this high, which will be another few hundred pips. And then once we get up here, we'll be well over 1,000, right? So I like understanding that just on the higher time frame, on the 4-hour chart, we still have areas of internal range liquidity that we can come fill. And when I say internal range liquidity, I'm saying, okay, if this is a swing high for us and this is a swing low for us, where are the areas of liquidity that rest in between these 2 points? All right. Where are the areas of liquidity that rest in between that swing high and that swing low? And I could just tell right here from the 4-hour chart, these two highs got to go right here. We got a little high that left that small wick there. That has to go. We got some highs up there that I feel like have to go as well. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little smaller. So I definitely see a lot of bullish upside to this. Truth be told, I'm gonna be probably holding until we get maybe somewhere up here into this region, possibly up into this region up here. We do have some people call it the FU candle. And it's kind of like a funny name because, like, if you were to, the way this came about is, if this is like a fist, you got your middle finger right here. I know it's a little bad humor, right? But at the same time, it's just something that sticks out to you, you know what I mean? But essentially that's like an institutional candle where we push up, we sweep highs, and then obviously we start, trending lower, right? So I do believe that there is some money right there that can be, taken, okay? The money that was taken above this high right here. So we put our dollar signs. And then we see the market actually trend lower, right? And as the market is trending lower, we leave some weak highs behind, right? As internal range liquidity right here. Now, typically, I don't mark up all of these areas of internal range liquidity because I just have a mental understanding that the market is likely to come clear all these areas out. I primarily just focus on the highest area of internal range liquidity that rests underneath a strong high. So as you can see here, we have a high that was taken right here. So that would make this area a strong protected high. And then we see that doesn't happen anymore, right? That doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen here, here, or here. So essentially, I'm looking for the buys to come all the way up to that last strong high. And I'm looking for all of these weak highs that happen all the way down to be taken out because they're weak. They're not going to be respected like the strong high is going to be respected. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead here and mark up this area of supply. Okay. Because this being a high that made a significant lower low, obviously we broke structure right here to the downside. And this is happening on a higher time frame. So this definitely tells you that this is powerful. All right. So this being a high that led down to this lower low, I do have full belief that the market will continue to trade lower. All right. So up here, we're looking more into man, it's hard to even tell you. Let's use this. Yeah. So right here, we're looking at that's like 1,200 pips. All right. That's about 1,200 or so pips on the upside. Right now, we're at about 380-ish, 360 pips. So I still think that we have, a lot of areas to go, right? A lot of space to fill in on the upside. All right. Let me make sure I'm checking the chat. I don't want to make sure I'm missing anybody. Oh yeah, it definitely is a gap. Would a gap get filled? It doesn't show it right here on Oanda. It'll probably show the gap on a different broker. Let's see if it shows the gap on one of these other brokers. I think this might be a different one. Yeah, it doesn't show it here either, but this is a gap. On MetaTrader 4, that most definitely is a gap. All right. So just with that being said, will the gap get filled? I don't know. I don't really trade gaps that way. If a gap is playing into my analysis, so be it. But I will not just trade into a gap just for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? So I will just be patient on that just to see if it gets filled, so be it. If not, I'm not personally going to take any trades against all of that bullish momentum. Not understanding what the higher time frame wants, right? Because selling against that bullishness would be pretty, pretty risky in my personal opinion. All right. So now we're take a look at GU, right? I have my favorites that I go over, which is GU, NAS 100, GCAD, Gold, and EuroCAD, right? Those are like my starting 5 right there, right? So once we actually get through those pairs, I'll actually go through some other pairs as well. So if you guys want anything for me to cover specifically, feel free to let me know. I have no problem whatsoever going over some more pairs if you guys want me to. All right. So similar to gold, GU is going very bullish at the moment. And I will just check the DXY. There are times where I don't check it, so I'll make sure to take a look real quick. But just with that being said, on the DXY, obviously we did come clear highs over here to the left. Then we started consolidating, right? And within this consolidation, I do feel like the market found some way to distribute, right? Distribute orders within this high. And we'll go down to the lower time frame and analyze this area as well. But as you can see, it starts to range. Then we sweep highs. After we sweep those highs, we're actually starting to make lower lows and lower highs after that point. So me personally, I do feel like this price action will continue, right? We are coming back up into a buy to sell region where the market could reject and continue to fall over to the downside, right? But there's also the possibility that we end up respecting demand right here. So this is a prime area. And, I feel like this is going to be a key point of interest this week to see if the market wants to somehow continue bullish or if it just wants to continue bearish, right? But now, as I come down to, the 30-minute, take a quick look at the 1 hour. Just looking at this low, it has its attributes. Don't get me wrong. This is a low that has indeed pushed up into a new high. But outside of that, as I'm just paying attention to what's happening within the low and within the high, I see a high that actually takes liquidity where we make a high and then sweep it. But I don't really see that happening in a low. So even though we have a low that makes a new high, at the same time, the way that I identify trends personally is by asking myself what side of the market is taking liquidity and what side of the market is creating it, right? So when I see us make a high, then take a high, that tells me that this is an area of, distribution. In that way, the market wants to actually start going down to the downside. Even right here, we'll notice how the market creates equal highs. And I will go down to a slightly smaller time frame as well. Here we see the market actually creates these equal highs. And then right here, we push right above them, right? So we do see that supply rather, actually has a bit of control at this particular moment. So although we may be pushing into what appears to be a demand zone down here, I also have to pay attention to what side of the market is sweeping highs. And I notice we swept highs here. I notice we also swept highs here, and we're making new lows. So I'm willing to bet that, we're more bearish than bullish. And this is one of the key elements that help me not get lost in the sauce, because what we have to understand, guys, is that based on the time frame you're looking at, you can make any market look bullish or bearish, just depending on the time frame you're looking at, right? If I'm looking at the higher time frame, I could say this is bullish just based off of this. If I'm looking at the smaller time frame, I could say that this is bearish just by looking at this. So it's like, how do you really know what to look at, right? You know what to look at by understanding what side is sweeping, right? So just me understanding that, I'm willing to bet that, the market is probably a little more bearish than anything. Now, I come down to my lower time frames. I look for my hezzies and my crossovers, which we have, right? We create a weak hezzy. We create internal range liquidity as well. So now what I'm looking for is for 106.54 to get taken out. And we'll possibly react here out of this breaker block, all right? So just with that being said, this is an area where, we had a market push up, then continue down to make new lows. The market can indeed reject from here. I don't really go off of these patterns that often, but there are times where it makes sense to go off of this pattern. Typically, I would just go for the highest point of interest because it gives me a better risk to reward opportunity with higher probability. So regardless of if it reacts off of the first point of interest or even the second one, I do believe that we will continue bearish at some point. So our option A would be like right here. Option B would probably be somewhere up here. And then you always obviously have the option for the market to just say, forget you and keep going up. But typically, I do see this market doing one or two of these things, right? So with that being said, I feel like that puts us in very good standings with our gold setup, right? I do believe that gold is going to continue. Even if we might close that gap, we might not. I wouldn't bank on selling the gap, but I am bullish, right? The reason I wouldn't sell the gap is because there's no way for you to guarantee that the gap is going to close 100%. Maybe the market goes up 1,000 pips and then comes and closes the gap. You just don't know whether it's going to close now or close next week. So with that being said, I wouldn't sell the gap. However, if it does pull down, I would be interested in taking that continuation, right? So take the buy if it comes down, but don't sell into the buy. The sell is just not necessary. You know what I mean? Like there's other pairs that you could sell that are higher probability than that. All right. We got 40 on the call. What's up, everybody? What's up? Yo, keep blasting this link out, man. Let's see if we can get to 50 today. Just keep blasting this link out. We keep growing. That's a good thing. Trade Genius has officially been live for, I want to say, what, 3 going on, maybe this is the 4th week now. So, we are growing. It is good to see you guys tapping in. Sure, let's take a look at it. Euro USD, AUD, CHF. All right, let me get through my favorites real quick, guys, and I promise I'll take a look at those. All right. Let me get through my favorites real quick, and I promise you I will take a look at those pairs for y'all. All right. So just with GU, I'm also, long on GU at the moment. I wanted us to come back down here, which we didn't quite do fully. The market did just kind of react and go bullish from there. I was thinking we could have the possibility to come back down here. Obviously, half of you guys, or probably more than half of y'all, aren't a part of the VIP community, but this actual entry was given out on a live trading call that we did on, say, Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night was Technical Tuesday, gave this entry out, and we could see how that played out over the course of the rest of the week. So obviously that trade did go up about 200 pips or so. I do believe that we'll continue. All right. I do believe that we'll continue. Now it's just like, let us find where we might continue from. Now, essentially, this market is pretty much closed that gap almost 100%. It's still a little bit more, it can push up, but ultimately, I would be looking for some buys down within these lows. If we can get back down here, I'll probably feel more interested in taking continuation positions just off the fact that, we made a low here. All right, that low actually swept a low right here as well. So that's a good thing. So we see we had that buildup of liquidity. Then we push down, take that liquidity, push up, right? As the market is pushing up, we actually come down and grab liquidity one more time. So with that being said, we grab that, then we start to take off to the upside. Right here, you'll notice we do have a slight little area of imbalance right here within that candle. So obviously I have the entire area marked off, but if you want to get very specific, you could say, this little area of imbalance is something that interests you, right? Me personally, I'd rather just mark up the whole candle, because if you overshoot this little imbalance just by a little bit, it might scare you. So for me, I'm gonna just, mark up the whole candle just so that way, you don't get confused, right? But for me personally, I would love to see us actually retrace a bit, come clear out the lows. Like I said, I like to buy in between strong lows and weak lows. So this low I'm considering strong because it swept a low to the left, right? And then this low I'm considering weak because it doesn't sweep anything to the left, right? So we can take out all the weak lows right here and right here, but we respect the strong low right here, all right? And that's essentially where I look to take my positions from. So once we come back down to, like, let's say 2135, 1.2135, 1.2135, just make a mental note of that, write it down. That's where I'll probably look for continuation, all right? Anybody from the community still in Nas with me? Anybody from the community still in Nas with me? Talk to me, talk to me. So as you guys can see right here, okay? As you guys can see right here, this was actually a trade that was given in the community, right? Let me do this real quick. Sorry about that. Oh, there we are. So we got our sell opportunity here. I'm looking for the buy, really. Well, it's somewhere in there. We'll go over the sell real quick too. The 14,880, and then we'll go over the buy, right? And then we'll see what it is that we see happening for this week. All right. So that sell I just showed you in the Discord is this sell that we took right here. Obviously played out very, very beautifully. Caught a nice sell opportunity right here. We actually manipulated Asia range highs, right? Those Asia session high that got created. Then we took that out, respecting this buy to sell candle here. But we do have a lower time frame hezzy crossover, which for the sake of time, I'm not going to go super in depth with right at the moment. But we did indeed have that pattern down here. We came up, pushed into that order block or that supply zone, whatever you want to call it. And then we sold down, right? Now, we automatically knew that this is our area to take profit, right? Our final TP area, right? And reason for that was because right here, we actually take liquidity right there, make this low, and then we actually break structure to the upside, right? So like I explained to you guys before, I buy in between weak lows and strong lows. So if this is a strong low and this is a weak low, this is the buy box that I want to trade within, right? So me just understanding that, as you can see, 14,488. So we have 14,488.5 is where I took my entries. I am actually still in this trade at this moment. Right, I'm still in this trade at this moment. Took buys down here. Went in a little bit of drawdown, but we ultimately respected this low because we have this low specifically in this area for a reason, right? If the market breaks that low, we got to start thinking differently about the trade. So that's why I had my stop loss there. And as you can see, the market just erupts to the upside, right? Smashing TPs and everything, all right? So this is exactly what we wanted to see. So now moving forward, I'm anticipating nothing but bullishness on the continuation side. We have no reason to go against this bullish momentum that we have. One thing that I do notice is I want to see the market actually come back into, say, this area right here, okay? The reason why I'm looking at this area really is because, we have this buy, then we sell, right? And although we sold right here, we push back up with buys, right? So now we need to come back to those initial sell points. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. A lot of you guys that may not be familiar with smart money and stuff like that and institutional concepts, that may really go over your head, but it's important to understand the way the market produces price, right? Right here, we have this sell to buy opportunity. The market bought up, putting this sell in drawdown, right? So the market needs to retrace back to that initial sell point in order to close this sell right here, all right? And once that sell closes, we can then add on to our buys that are already in profit from down here, right? So I do believe the market will continue from there. We don't have like the super clear order block down there. So this is why I'm gonna go with a breaker in this particular situation. All right. So you can see it clear, especially on like the 2 hour, right? You see this is where majority of that selling takes place. And then we have these three very bullish candles to come take that sell momentum out. So I want us to essentially just come back into that area, find some support, and then take off again. All right. So if we can get that, I'll be very satisfied with that. Maybe it comes down a little bit lower. We have a little bit of imbalance down here. So I'll be interested to see if we can respect, within this range right here. I would say if we can get underneath 14,730, 14,730, I think you'd be really good to take some buys on NAS 100. And then we're just continuously aiming to the upside, right? Like I said on the calls all week, I mean, I'm extremely bullish on this just because, I mean, if you look at Nas on a higher time frame, the market is bullish in itself, all right? All right. The market in itself is indeed bullish on the higher time frames. I mean, these sell-offs are massive for pairs like Nas or US 30. Like this sell-off is massive. Like this sell-off, this was the COVID, sell-off right here. So you see how massive these sell-offs are. And now, we're back in this phase of impulsing. So I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we go and make new highs. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised whatsoever if we just continue to go up and make new highs. Obviously, that's on the daily chart. That can take quite a while to happen. At least for the intraday perspective, I am in at the lowest point possible, right? I literally got in down here. So for me, I don't have any obligation to close this trade anytime soon. I don't consider myself a swing trader, but there are times you just get those opportunities where you have to hold forever just to see, like I've already closed out plenty profit out of this trade, plenty of it. So now at this point, I'm just holding to see how much I can get out of this position, right? I'm just holding to see how far I could really take this thing. All right. So there you guys have it. That's the setup there. We're going to come back into this point of interest and look for more long opportunities to take to the moon. All right. So we'll see how far we can take that. GBP CAD. Truth be told, I'll probably be a little bearish on this. I don't trust this low all that much, right? So I would say bearish intraday, bullish long term. All right, long term, like 4 hour and above, this market should be pretty bullish just with this last couple of weeks movement. But I do think that we need to get in potential buys at a lower point. So if we can come back down towards this region here, I would be a little more interested in taking buy opportunities. So if the market can retrace a little bit, maybe we take some sales. All right. Pop up a bit, take some sell opportunities. Wasn't sure if that was on accident, but please refrain from drawing on the screen. Pretty sure it was an accident because most of the time people would draw something, ignorant if it was on purpose. But that's that. I'm looking for the market to come up a little bit. I think we could play with this high up here for a very low risk, high reward type of opportunity. All right. So we pop up a bit, mess around with this high, and then roll over to the downside. Maybe we can get that. We come up into 6755, 1.6755. All right. 1.6755. I think we'll be able to get something like that for certain. All right. Already looked at gold. EuroCAD, same thing, right? EuroCAD, same thing. This is another strong high that we have here because we do take liquidity, then push to the downside. But now we have a questionable high. So here's just a rule of thumb. Here's some free sauce for you. Whenever I see a point of interest that I like, but I don't like the high that I'm trading from, I wait for that high to get swept one more time, right? So I like this point of interest. However, I don't like this high, all right? So I'm gonna wait for the high to get taken again and then sell, all right? So that's just a little bit of sauce for you guys. Just go back and back test it, right? I can't give it all to you out of respect for my VIP and my core students, but that is just a rule of thumb that if I were you, I would go back test that logic and see how accurate it really is. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Euro USD and AUD CHF. We'll take looks at both of those pairs. All right. And drop whatever other pairs you guys want me to take a look at. There's any other pairs you guys want me to take a look at? AUD CHF is activated. I don't know if that's why you was asking about it or not. But we all should be in that trade if you're a part of the community. Essentially, I got the same analysis as gold and GU pretty much. I want to see if we'll retrace. I don't really trade EU that often, but I would say the safest bet is to probably try to get in down here, right? You know, can we respect this low? Obviously we can, but you know, they do look somewhat equal to me. So if they are equal, there's a chance that they get taken out. And the same with GU, right? Because I know I was looking at GU to respect because we wicked it like we did wick that low just barely. But you know, there's always the possibility that you push down a little bit deeper into, you know, the clear sell to buy area down here. So I would say Euro USD, let's look at 1.047, right? 1.047 on Euro USD, 1.047 on Euro USD. All right. I'm gonna take a look at AUD CHF because somebody just asked for it. You know, we should all be in this position if you guys are a part of the community, taking us to the upside. Obviously, this is an untouched markup, right? So you guys see, you know, the accuracy with the drawing. I made this drawing last week, you know, seeing the build up right here, knew the market would come back down 0.578. So that was like right here. Maybe the spread stopped you, but the spread should have closed in enough time for you to get into this trade. The spread is usually only bad for about an hour, and the market stuck around this area for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, you know, if you are a part of the community, then you should be in this trade. This does look like, at this moment, it does look like it's going to be a pretty successful accumulation. All right. So hopefully this market just accumulates properly and then starts to push to the upside. All right. Stop loss is 23 pips. I'll be real. I mean, I'm going for 145 pips right now. All right. Although the market has moved a little bit, it hasn't moved that much, guys, if I'm being honest. Like, it's still a decent entry. It's not a sniper entry, but it's a decent entry to where if you guys want to make money off of the trade, you can. You just got to adjust your stop loss a little bit. So, you know, maybe adjust your stop loss a little bit, adjust your lot size to where you're not risking as much. But I still think AUD CHF is a good trade if you guys want to execute now. All right. I still think that that's a solid trade setup. Obviously, we have our sell to buy candle right here that took liquidity over to the left right here. All right. So we got our sell to buy candle. this low, bottom of our range to the top of our range. And now all of this is just a retracement, all right? All of that is just a retracement. So what we have here is we have a low that makes a new high. Then we retrace back into that area of demand. And now we're going to have to continue back to the upside. All right. So my take profit one is 5865. That's about right here. All right. Where my cursor is. That's about where the first take profit is. Second take profit is up here. All right. So I would definitely take that if I were you guys. It's a good setup in my opinion. All right. Let me grab some water real quick. Give me like 5 seconds. All right, I'm back. Yeah, definitely a good trade setup right there. All right. Yeah, that's textbook, guys. That thing is gonna go. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. That thing is gonna go. All right. You heard it here first. So take with that information what you will. Even if you take it now, I mean, you're looking at a 30 pip stop. You still gonna have decent risk to reward, right? It's not gonna be crazy, but it ain't gonna be bad either. Right. It's decent, especially for hopping on a free call, right? If you're part of the community, you should be in at the original entry point. Okay. AUD USD, I'm anticipating more bullishness. Um, bullishness for a while, to be honest. We're definitely gonna come clear out these highs. Yeah, equal highs resting up here. I see AUD USD pushing up to 0.656. All right, 0.656 on AUD USD. Let's look for 0.656. All right. If these yen pairs are up too, then we can call it a day. All right. I did see somebody ask for US 30. Let me look at US 30 real quick. So it didn't quite tag us in. I'd actually, I guess I marked this up last week. I wanted it to clear lows and then go bullish, which it didn't do. So I'm not in it at the moment. I don't really trade US 30. I trade Nas, right? I'm a Nas trader. But I would say it's just gonna continue, to truth be told. I think it's just gonna continue similar to Nas will. I think we find a way to come back into this low right here. Then I think we just continue to the upside. I would be looking for us to come and liquidate this low. Respect this low right here. Then continue to the upside. All right. So I would be looking for that. I trust that. We do clear lows to the left, which is ideal. All right. So, this is a nice price pattern that I see right here. Okay. So I would be looking for, you know, I'd say like 32,950 on NAS 100. I'll be looking for 32,000 950 for potential buys. All right. So now let's move on to these yen pairs real quick. I don't really see nothing that interests me, honestly. Maybe this sell right here. Maybe this sell right there. Now that I think about it, I'll pass on that. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna pass on that. I've seen much better opportunities. There's no need for me to force nothing. I don't want those sales no more. Honestly, I don't know what the hell GBP pair or the JPY pairs are doing. I was ready for this GJ buy. I just missed it, unfortunately. I was looking at all of this as like a big correction where you're gonna sweep these lows here and then go bullish, right? But I wasn't prepared for that news spike right here. Like it literally did exactly what I thought it would do, but I just haven't had an opportunity to get back in after that spike because by the time I saw it, the market was already up there and it had, went up 180 pips. So obviously I'm not going to buy it after it goes up 180 pips, but that's just pretty cool to see the market play out exactly the way you thought it would. Um, just understanding that that's the strong low, that's the weak low. So remember, we're going to buy in between the strong low and the weak low, right? Simple as that. I'm going to leave the door open for this entry down here, all right? I'm going to leave the door open for this entry right here. I'm not going to give up on it. I do think the market can drop. It has a decent way to drop. But look, once we get down to 180, okay, 180.25, 180.25. Y'all hear me? 180.25. I would be looking for GJ buys, okay? If I'm in a bunch of other pairs, I might not take it just due to the fact that I don't want to be in too many positions at once. But I do like the fact that, we swept liquidity, pushed higher, and now we have a bunch of weak lows forming above this area of demand. All right. So I would be looking for 180.25 right there. Um, so we'll look at some NZDs real quick. I'm going to trade NU. So I'm not going to spend time on that. We already looked at NZD JPY. A quick look at NZD CAD. Kind of already went over this with like GCAD and EuroCAD, but I would expect some bearishness to come into the market. I want to see us, come down towards this region down here, where we have, this sell to buy area right here. That sell cleared out liquidity to the lows, and then the buy actually made new highs, right? But here where the selling started right here. You see that? For this entire sell move. And then we also have like imbalance over here. We have imbalance right here. So we have like that imbalance overlay where I think the market can come right here at, let's say, 0.81, right? Let's say, yeah, 0.81 or like 0.8105, and then start pushing back up, okay? So we'll look at that area. If you trade NZD CAD, I would look at that area for sure. Let's look for, you can look for some scalps on the sell side. Once this little gap closes, like I said, I typically don't trade gaps that way. But the only reason I say wait for that little gap to close is so we could take a trade out of supply right here. All right. So once the market gets back up there, you could take a scalp sell down. But if you want to be safe, you could just wait for this buy at 0.8105. All right. 0.8105. Okay. Don't really see nothing on NZD CHF. I know I should have took this USD CAD sell, bro. I was just in so many pairs already. It didn't make sense to keep taking trades, but we was prepared for this one too. We definitely was. I say look for continuations on USD CHF if you trade that, right? If you don't trade it, just go with the rest of the pairs. It don't really matter, right? You don't need to take every trade, but there are a lot that we can take, all right? So that's pretty much all I see in terms of the currency pairs that I want to trade. This is being recorded. I will upload this to YouTube as well, just so you guys can have it. That way you guys can go back, rewatch, benefit from it. So really I'm looking at GCAD, EuroCAD, looking at GU, looking at EU, looking at NAS, right? We got like a good 5 different pairs. Looking at GJ, we got like 5, 6 pairs that we could probably execute on this week. So I do think it'll be nothing less than another great week, similar to last week, right? So just with that being said, that's where I'll pretty much stop the thing, right? But I do want to go over a couple things that a lot of people had questions on.